All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out my channel. So what I want to get into today is just basically asking you, what do you want to look like? And I think a lot of people get shaken up when they start thinking about what they truly want to look like physically, let's say. I do a lot of fitness videos inside the gym and outside, I should say. And I'm actually at my buddy Robert Beninati's office. And normally I wouldn't do a fitness video inside of an office, but I thought it would be kind of a good place for me because it's kind of not as noisy or not. I'm usually sometimes, I got a lot of people around me or whatever the case may be when it comes to fitness. And this is kind of a very calm setting. And the reason I'm asking this is because a lot of people I know, they want to look a certain way, and I think they're just afraid to kind of go after it, and I understand that. Or I think a lot of people get scared because if they want to look a certain way, they know it's going to take a lot of hard work and maybe even time to get there, and I get that, right? It does a lot of times. But I also think what people need to understand is you need to take a realistic approach regarding whatever you want to look like. Now, if you are 100% comfortable with the way you look, that is wonderful. That's great. I always had a ton of insecurities growing up, still do actually, and I goof around, and people used to ask me throughout my life, Rich, man, how are you so consistent when working out? And I used to say, because I'm insecure. Now, that may sound like a joke, but that's the truth of it. No matter how big I got or how strong, I always felt small and weak. So that's what kept driving me to go to the gym. Now that I'm older, I basically do it for health reasons. I'm kind of over all the bullshit. But that did motivate me to get me to where I wanted to be. Was it right or wrong? I don't know. But maybe when it comes to you, if you want to look different, let's say for instance, or you want to make improvements on your health or whatever you want to do regarding your identity, take an honest approach and let's start small. If you want to lose weight, I always talk about it, the slower the better. All right? But you're most likely, if you're overweight, you're going to have to change up some of your eating habits. That could, it could be the portions, it could be the types of foods. Also, maybe you should start exercising more. Not that you have to, but let's start taking a realistic approach and saying, hey, let me just try losing 5 pounds in X amount of months. Right? Instead of saying, oh my God, I wish I could look like this, but I'd have to lose 50 pounds. Who's going to do that? How am I going to do that? That's kind of ridiculous. I think society on a whole, and I think a lot of it comes from these bullshit reality shows or even YouTube. I lost, X amount of weight in 30 days and I went from looking like this to this. Well, God bless them. Who gives a shit? They're not you. You don't have the same body, the same lifestyle. Who knows what they did to get there, and who knows if that's the facts? Who knows if that's the truth? A lot of shit you're seeing is full of shit when it comes to fitness. I got a news flash for you. And who gives a fuck? We got to worry about you, and if you want to make these changes in your identity or you want to look a certain way, let's start moving toward that direction. That doesn't mean we have to be extreme. And that doesn't mean it's going to happen in months. It may take years. Who cares? Let's enjoy the ride while we go along. I talk about it all the time. I was 135 pounds, and then before you know it, like a year and a half later, I was 220 pounds. And, that was a big jump. But the thing was, I was working out from like 5 years old, but starting like from 12, 13 years old, I was working out with weights. And what was interesting is for 5, 6 years, all my friends were getting great results. I went from like in high school 100 pounds to 135 pounds, lifting a lot of weights in 4.5, 5 years. And these guys were gaining 60, 70, 80 pounds. I really felt depleted a lot of times because they were all getting mass, getting size, and I'm kind of going the other way. But then eventually I did get to where I wanted to be. It just took me longer. And one of the reasons one of the things that I did like is how much I learned about myself on the ride, I guess, along the way. Sometimes when we do certain things very quickly, like you can lose a ton of weight very quickly. It may not even be that healthy, but it just kind of happens. Even with gaining, say, a lot of weight with mass or whatever the case may be, I learned so many different things along the way throughout the longer period of time about my body, and I learned just a lot more is what I should say. So anyways, If you have any questions or comments, check out a lot of my podcasts, The Rich Celenza Show. I talk a lot about fitness and identity, and I have a Mastering Self-Confidence program. I try to help men find the woman or women of their dreams, but I do a ton of different things on there as well as far as identity, hygiene, grooming. I'm going to be doing more videos on that as well. But yeah, I think it all starts with, what do you want to look like? All right. And a lot of times if you walk in your closet, I'll just start there, because a lot of times, every day you go in there, do you like the way you're dressing? If you look in a mirror, do you like the way you look? And I know for the most part, most of us don't. That's just something that is just inside of a lot of us. Don't let that shit frustrate you. You can, I believe, no matter who you are, eventually find happiness with your body. And it just may take time. And you got to realize and take an honest approach that you may not look the way let me just put it this way. I wanted to be massive. I wanted to be 280 pounds. I got up to 250 pounds. Not only did I feel like shit, I started to look like shit. So what I thought I would look great at and feel great at, it was quite the opposite. So maybe you're somebody who also wants to lose a lot of weight, let's say, for instance, and thinks that I'll look great at that weight. You might, and you may get there, and that's wonderful. You may not get there, but you also may come close, or you may find something before that. Like, you may think you want to lose 50 pounds, you only lose 30, and you may be like, oh my God, I feel really good. I like the way I look. That happens. Same with gaining weight as well. You may think, like me, you got to gain all this weight, get all these muscles, or do all these type of things. And then when you start getting there, you're like, wait a minute, I feel really good at where I'm at. So don't underestimate your body, and don't think the way you think right now is going to be the way you're going to think in the future when it comes to health and identity and fitness in general. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, definitely check out my podcast, The Rich Celenza Show. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you get a chance, subscribe. And I wish you nothing but the best. If you have any comments or questions, I'll answer them the best I can. All right? Take care.